Hello and welcome to Heavy Metal Rex. My name is Oways and I want to tell you guys Happy New Year. This is actually my first video for 2025. Unfortunately, I was a little busy to do a end of year recap for 2024, but I figured, you know what, start the new year right. I can kind of take some time and look to see what I've been doing, which actually I've been doing that behind the scenes of everything that's happened this year, and kind of write down some of what I kind of know what I want to do in 2025. And I want to start by doing the same thing I did last year, which I've been pretty transparent about this, and just kind of go over how the channel has been the last year and how much the channel has grown this year. I know not a lot of YouTubers kind of do this, obviously, as they get bigger and bigger, because, you know, I understand why they don't, but I'm still really small right now. I don't really have a problem with that. So it's really interesting because this was 2023, and this was the first year where the channel was like really good, and that's obviously with the use of the VB. I kind of discount everything that was in 2022 from when I first got the VB because I wasn't really monetized, so that's not really that important. What's interesting here is the numbers, and I know exactly why, and I want to touch on that just a little bit. Is I had 1.4 million views last year, but then if I switch over to 2024, I had 1.4 million this year as well. Now, I do know that when I lost my job between June and around October, I kind of didn't really make any content at all. Actually, I went 2 months with not posting anything, and I was traveling a lot. I think I had like one Subie Fest video, and that's really kind of all it was. But that's okay. I'm not too worried about that. This year was really interesting. I remember when the year ended last year, I said I was going to do tours. I was going to do the year of tours. I was going to travel. I was going to go to as many companies as I could, go to as many events as I could, and I actually did a pretty decent amount of traveling last year, mainly to Subie Fest. I went to a couple of companies. Obviously, I went to go see Cobb, which was amazing. I went to go see Aeroflow Dynamics. I went up to see Graham, which was really cool. There's still a couple of companies I still want to go see, some that are even local, like Diode Dynamics is still here, even though I didn't do their tour. They do have like a factory tour. I didn't do that on camera. I've done that once before, but they did have like their open house where I got to do my first dirt experience with the car, which ended kind of on a rough note, which I did actually break a wheel then. Actually, I broke a tire. I didn't break a wheel that day. So that was a lot of fun. There's still a couple of companies I still need to go see. I need to go see Perrin, which is kind of tough because if they had Subie Fest up there, I'd be able to travel for Subie Fest, but they don't, so I need another actual reason to fly out there. But the nice thing is when I do go out there, I get to go see Perrin, and I get to go see Tanner, which that should be a lot of fun to do. I know there's a few more places I want to go this year. I want to go out to see VSC. Vermont Sports Car. I think that would be an incredible time because there's so much cool stuff there. I don't know how possible this is, but I'd like to visit at least one rally school this year. There's 3 of them. There's Rally Ready, there's Dirtfish, and Team O'Neill, I think is the other one. Obviously, there may be more, but these are the guys I always see all the time. If I had to pick out of the 3, I kind of want to go see Team O'Neill because they're doing some crazy stuff with the stock VB WRX right now, and it is so cool to see them do that. So that's still on the schedule. Year of tours technically is over, but I'm not going to stop visiting shops and visiting companies, so that's still going to happen. I got a list here, so I'm just going over some of that stuff. Now, last year it was a lot of fun going to almost every Subie Fest, and at first I wasn't really sure what to expect because I've never done anything like that before. I've never really been a booth car. I was the year before, but I really had no idea what I was doing, and I was honestly even a smaller fry than I am now. And this year was pretty interesting because I was able to go to 5 out of 6 Subie Fests, and I was a booth car for all 5 of them, and it was a learning experience for me because there's different expectations are set, and I didn't really know how to meet all of them or this and that or properly make content. So I learned a lot this year. So if I do somehow end up going to 5 Subie Fests, which I really don't know if that's going to be a possibility this year because of some other things that I'm doing, I'm going to do a better job at that. All the vendors I've worked with, I promise I'm going to get better. So don't worry about that. If I do go to Subie Fest this year, I want to try to be a part of the event somehow, whether it's through volunteer services or provide something because I do want a strong connection. Obviously, I already do have a pretty strong connection with a lot of the people that run it. I have a lot of friends there now, which I made last year, which was, oh my God. Actually, my favorite part about all of this is just meeting people, meeting both the subscribers that you guys come up and talk to me and all the people that actually work so hard to put these events together. It's incredible. So I want to be a part of that somehow. I don't know how yet, but believe me, somehow I'm going to have an influence there of some kind. I just don't know. I'm going to work with them to try to figure that out. So I want to do that. I just think it's a great way for me to be continuously connected with the community in general, because I always try to remember everybody. Even though I'm making these videos, I am more like you than I am anything else, because I enjoy this on the other side of the camera just as much as I do on this side. So I don't want to stop doing that. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, because I haven't really talked a lot about this. I actually am planning a separate video specifically on this. I actually joined a race team and a nonprofit racing team called AfroSpeed. It's actually a friend of mine here who runs it, and him and a couple of his buddies. They actually take a really nice S2000 out to Grid Life every year. And he also is part of our rallycross team here in St. Louis, which is fantastic. He's a great guy, incredible driver, so much to learn from him. And I need to start putting all that stuff together. There's a lot that goes into this, because Grid Life isn't just like showing up at a track day. There's going to be a lot that goes into this, because I have to find sponsors for the car, like legitimate sponsors for the car, for parts that may not currently exist, and maybe we can help develop those parts. I need to redo suspension, aero, wheels, tires. I have a couple of ideas. A couple of companies have reached out. I'm not sure yet exactly which direction I'm going to go. So that's like a big thing. And then the whole nonprofit side, asking companies for money, to pour into the nonprofit so we can teach some of the. So I don't want to get too far into this, but like the way that it's set up, it's like minorities who want to race, but also minorities who want to be in a racing community, where people that are going to school for like engineering, people that are going to school for electronics, they're interns and they come and they help, and they get paid, and they learn a bunch of stuff, and then they can go on and get jobs on race teams and this and that. So there's that whole thing is going to be its own video, which I think is really, really cool. And obviously being a minority, it kind of makes sense. This is where I landed. So a lot more of that to come next year. My goal is to race as many Grid Life events as I can. So that is probably going to hinder some of my traveling, because then traveling to Laguna Seca, traveling to, to Road America, Chicagoland, it's going to be a lot of traveling that may interfere with some of my tour stuff, that may interfere with some of my Subie Fest stuff. So I honestly really don't even know the schedule yet. But that's really exciting, because the car is, like many people wanted, is actually going back to a track spec, and not just a track spec, it's going legit track spec. My goal is to obviously not win or my goal is to actually win, but the chances of that happening at my first few events, probably very improbable. But to be able to race with some of the people that are on this track, this car needs a lot of work. Whether that's things I've talked about before, like the STI swap, which is happening probably by the end of this month or early next month. I know I've been saying this for an extended period of time, but it is now legitimately happening. So that is something that needs to happen. But before I can do that, the car needs a lot of work. The car is broken. It works, but there's a lot of things. Like recently, I even broke a wheel trying to dodge a stupid ass deer in my neighborhood. That was very frustrating. So I broke the wheel. So now I'm sitting on my winter set. I still have that oil leak from the AOS that I created. I need to fix that. I've just been really lazy about taking the car apart. The LED fog bezels don't work anymore. I don't know why, so I have to take the front bumper off to figure that out. The charge pipe still has a hole in it. I never replaced it. The hole, it's not complete, so that's why I haven't replaced it yet. I've just been really lazy, and it's been really cold. I got to figure out some heating situation in my garage, because it's kind of rough. And then after all that, I need to get a retune, because I haven't had an actual dyno tune or a tune to kind of check up on the car in almost a year. So it's something I really want to do. Once that gets done, some of the major things that are going to happen, obviously STI swap, which I have been going back and forth on whether I'm going to do it or whether the shop is going to do it. I'm about 80, maybe 90% sure that I'm going to tackle it myself. Probably have a friend who works at Ecotech come with me and to try it, to just be there, since I'm, obviously you guys know, not that mechanically inclined, but I think this year I have to force myself to become more mechanically inclined and just get better at this stuff, because I don't want to not know how to do these things, because A, it just saves me money because I'm not made of money. And second, I think it's just good that I know how to do it. And then when people ask me questions, I'm also not clueless, at least on the academic side. So I'm gonna do it myself, and that's the whole drivetrain, axles, rear diff, all of that stuff. So, and of course, I'm gonna document it completely. So look forward to that soon. Next goal is I wanna be able to take my engine out of the car, rebuild it, and put it back. And a Herculaneum task, to be sure, but where I'm at Ecotech, the shop that I work at, I am afforded a lot of opportunity to learn. So that's something that I'm gonna be doing a lot. So a lot of reading, a lot of watching videos, a lot of research, and just watching the guys, and just maybe even seeing if they'll be willing to impart some of their knowledge. I mean, I can't work at a place like this and not pick things up, So that's a big goal of mine. Power-wise, I know that IAG just dropped like their FA24 closed decks. I don't really have any plans on having a closed deck. I honestly don't know if that's something that would benefit me at the power level that I'm willing to stay right now, which is not for drag racing, it's for track spec. So probably between 400 to 450 is what I'm looking at. I don't really plan on going any higher yet. I do know that there's like another Nostrum fuel pump that's out. There's like bigger injectors that you can buy, but they're really expensive. And Graham and I actually do need to do a tuner talk. He reached out recently to do another tuner talk. So that's coming as well. So we're gonna talk about all that. So that stuff is not gonna happen for my car, but we're gonna start seeing that stuff in the community. Now for my car, like I said, I wanna be able to redo it. I wanna be able to clean it up and just learn how to do that. And power-wise, I'm really leaning towards a stock location hybrid turbo upgrade. I think for my purposes, that's gonna be more than enough. Like that'll get me to 400-ish, it'll easily get me to 400 pump gas, and like I can sit at 450 ethanol all day long with no real problems. Which in the STI swap, pulling the engine out and redoing the head studs and all that stuff, I'm not gonna have any issues at that power level. I really don't believe so, because considering I've been at 425 torque for now, I think like a year and a half, and it's, the car's seen all that power already. So I'm really not worried. So that is what the plan is for the car. There are a couple of other things that I want to do for the channel specifically that I'm not really sure exactly how to go about doing this, but I want to try and get on as many like other people's podcasts or other people's web shows as I can. It's more for a marketing for myself, just because legitimately this went from being a hobby into what is now my real life. And I cannot tell you how incredibly happy and thankful that I am that it has happened, because I'll be honest, it is like living a dream. Like the fact that I can do the YouTube thing, the fact that I'm doing this stuff with my car, and now working at Ecotech is incredible. And I would have never guessed that my life would change so drastically in such a short amount of time. That being said, I am trying my hardest to make sure that what I have continues to grow, because now this is my real life. It's no longer really a hobby anymore. Now I've committed, this is what I'm gonna do. So that's another thing about this year is just growing the channel. Now, that being said, I do have memberships turned on the channel. I have 7 members right now. Some of them are really good friends, and they've had a membership for, I think, almost a year now. So I really appreciate them. I'm gonna start putting a bunch of stuff on videos that kind of thanks them at the end of every video. So if you're interested in helping out this channel, helping me out, consider picking up a subscription. A membership to the channel. It starts at like $5. You don't have to, but it definitely helps me out in the long run. So obviously there's a lot of self-promotion there, but I really don't know what else to do. I spend a lot of money doing this stuff, and I don't expect anybody to pay me for it, but any little bit helps. Couple of other things that I want to do. I know my website sucks. People have told me that the website is okay and the merch sucks. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like it. That's why I kind of don't push it, because it's kind of doo-doo. That is a goal. I'm going to try to do a better job of cleaning that up. I'm working on an e-commerce website for our shop. Our shop currently does not sell parts, which is crazy to me. And I know I have the capabilities of setting that up. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna turn into some Import Image Racing website or JD Muscle or anything like that. I don't have those capabilities, but If you're looking for performance parts only, or even just like other things like clutches, brake pads, shit like that, I'll be able to have that on my website. So worst case scenario, you can always buy it from us. It doesn't hurt. It's not going to cost us any extra money or anything like that. It's just going to be my time putting that together. It's just useful. And even for me, if I need to order some stuff, like I know for a fact that's where I'm going to order my stuff these days. Anyway, I'm not buying it from anywhere else. So that's something I'm going to try to do for 2025. That's already my list of things to do is quite high. Let me go through all this. I wrote all this stuff down because I tend to forget some of these things. Yeah, so the whole like jumping on podcasts, web shows, it is a self-promotion thing, but it's something that I want to do. You know, like Dewey has a podcast, which is really good. I know Tanner and I started one. We've been really terrible at actually recording it. We're going to get better on that. That's for sure. One last thing I want to talk about. This is huge. It randomly came to me and I really want to do it. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to, but I turned 40 this year in August. That's a big deal, right? As you can see, I'm already doing my best Keanu Reeves impression, one of my favorite actors. I've grown out my facial hair for no apparent reason other than to appease my daughter. I am considering renting my local track, the one that I've gone to do track days, and renting it for my birthday. And I know that multiple times car groups here have actually pooled money together, like $3,000, $4,000 to rent out the track just for them. And it's like 25, 30 people. So it's like $150 a person. I am considering renting it out and then just offering people the opportunity to come and have a track day for like $100 or something. This way I can take half the cost and the racers can take the other half. It'll be small, maybe 30, 40 people in the community that I know here, subscribers who are in the states around Missouri, who are willing to drive in from, let's say, Chicago or from Arkansas or from Wisconsin, if you're not too far. I'm gonna invite as many content creators as I can as well, and just turn it into like this big birthday Subaru boxer, like basically have my own Subie Fest, but like for my friends and for people I know. There won't be a lot of tickets. It's only going to be a handful. If I can get it to work, I think it would be really, really cool because we got friends who are in a metal band, so they can come and play. We have like friends who own restaurants. They can come like bring some food and cater it. Either way, that's what I want to do for my birthday. And I'm going to put out a separate, this information will be forthcoming as soon as I can nail it down. And I'm going to invite as many people as I can. And it'll just be a hell of a lot of fun because I considered doing go-karts, but I was like, go-karts aren't going to be as fun as our real cars. And I know people here love driving that track, so I figured it might be something that we can do. And if it turns out good, maybe it's something I could do every year. So just a random idea that just popped into my mind. I was talking to a buddy of mine and like we just thought it was a great idea. Consider it something that's on the schedule. So as you can see, this has been almost a 20-minute video and there's a lot that is going on in 2025 already, but as you guys know, I will document everything and take you guys along on the journey. I gotta say, you guys have made this really, really fun for me, and I appreciate everybody watching and all the support you guys give, all the people that come to see me at Subie Fest, the people that comment on the videos. We're starting to see a lot of regular people, which is great. I love that. Somebody mentioned making a Discord. I don't know if it's big enough yet to make a Discord. Maybe it's not really necessary. I don't think it's really necessary. I don't plan on stopping because this is, I think right now, the beginning. And we'll see how all of this goes by the end of this year and we have this conversation again. I hope that it's just like even more badass. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.